Our next speaker, Michael Steuer, CEO of Portia, is speaking on zero trust for physical access, moving beyond keys and credentials. Michael is the CEO of Portia, where he's been transforming a 30-year legacy of mechanical key management into cloud-native AI-powered platform, unified physical and digital access control. Welcome to the stage.
Is this on? You can hear me? Perfect. All right. Thanks, Maxime. I know it's the afternoon. I hope the coffee's kicking in, and I'll try to keep it engaging as light as possible. Find the clicker here. So we're here to talk about zero trust for physical access. And what I want to start off with is this image here. Really have a look at this image. It's just keys. Ordinary. Maybe familiar to some. Little scuff from use. Every workplace has a bowl or a drawer full of them. We trust these pieces of metal to keep us, buildings, and data safe. Now swap the metal for plastic or glass, a key, a fob, a mobile phone credential, a phone that opens up doors. Different material, same assumption. We hand out a token and keep trusting it long after the reason has passed. Who still has a copy of this key? Who still carries that card? Whose phone still works at the door? When was the last time anyone checked? Most organizations rely on that habit, not because they want to, but because it has felt good enough. Today I want to challenge that. The future of physical access is not a fancier key, a smarter card, or a new app. It's how we understand and manage trust itself. At the end of this talk, you will not look at a set of keys, a lanyard, or a badge on a lanyard the same way. Let me tell you a story that happened, or that changed the way that a lot of security professionals think about physical access. It happened not in a shadowy corner, but right in the heart of Europe's most respected banks. Deutsche Bank, a contractor, like 1,000 others, showed up every day, on time, polite, familiar face. But he had a secret. For months, he was bringing an unauthorized guest, his girlfriend, right into the bank's most secure server rooms. Security guards greeted her. No one questioned her presence. She walked the halls, even used the computers, and lingered by the most sensitive equipment in the server room. No one raised an eyebrow. Why? Because she was with somebody trusted. The breach wasn't technical, it was psychological. A simple, everyday trust exploited. When the truth came out, it wasn't the firewalls or the security systems that had failed, it was the human habit of letting our guard down for those people we think we know. Now imagine your own office, your own facility. At this very moment, how many badges or keys are still out there, still active, in the hands of people who no longer work there? How often do you check? We obsess about threats from the outside. Hackers, burglars, anonymous attackers on the internet. But the real story, time after time, is this. Most physical breaches, the truly damaging ones, start with someone already trusted. A vendor with a forgotten badge, a contractor who never returned the key, or a former employee whose access was simply overlooked. We lock our doors with we lock our digital doors with endless passwords and codes. But sometimes we forget to lock the most critical door, the one everyone walks through each morning. The question isn't just who can get in, it's who's already here and why haven't we noticed? Let's step away from stories. Studies estimate losses in the trillions from physical security failures. Not master criminals, ordinary lapses, a door left open, a badge never returned, a key in the wrong hands. Most leaders report at least one insider incident per year. The cost adds up. Millions per organizations in cleanup, downtime, and confidence lost. And if you ask the people in charge what keeps them up at night, it's not the strangers outside the gate. It's the person already inside, with the badge, the key, the familiar face. These numbers are not just statistics. They are a signal. Blind trust is the breach. Odds are, it's happening in your organization right now. You just haven't seen it yet. When we picture breaches, we imagine masterminds in gloves dodging cameras, but real life is more ordinary and more dangerous for that very reason. Picture this. It's late, the cleaning crew is finishing up, it's hot and stuffy in the back hallway, so a cleaner props open the fire exit door just to let a little bit of a breeze in. She does not think about security. She's just thinking about finishing her shift. What she doesn't see is someone slipping in quietly behind her through that barely open door. The next morning, 2 laptops are gone, a hard drive with patient records gone missing. The hospital IT team spends weeks untangling what was lost, what needs reporting, what needs explaining to patients or regulators. Here's the kicker. No lock was picked. No system was hacked. It was a shortcut, one that any of us might have made. In security, it's not the evil genius that gets us. It's the human habit of making things just that little bit easier, that little bit more comfortable, whether that's propping open the door, lending a badge, or forgetting to lock the key. Ordinary actions open extraordinary risks. So why do these breaches keep happening even in the most secure organizations? The answer is surprisingly simple. It's a habit so ingrained, we rarely question it. We trust people after we let them in. Now think about your own home for a moment. Would you give a key to every plumber, every tradie, every visitor who ever visited you and just let them keep it forever? Of course not. You'd ask for it back, you'd change your locks eventually, or you wonder who else might get in. But at work, we hand out keys, badges, and codes. People change jobs, finish contracts, move teams. The credentials stay active because it's easier that way. That model worked in a smaller, more predictable world. But today, in global organizations, dozens of vendors, contractors, remote workers, rotating teams, it's a vulnerability. Trust after entry isn't generous, it's dangerous. If we're going to build security for the real world, we have to rethink what trust means and when it must expire. For centuries, we relied on very basic principles. Build the highest wall, dig the deepest moat, guard the drawbridge, and keep watch for strangers. In many ways, that's still how we think about physical security. We build barriers, set up cameras, guard the main entrance. But here's the catch. Once you cross that drawbridge, no matter how you got in, you're trusted. And you're trusted pretty much everywhere. The servants, the messengers, the blacksmiths, all inside the castle walls, all considered safe. Fast forward to today. Our castles, our open offices, shared labs, global campuses. The moat, it's a badge reader at the front door, sign-in sheet at reception, or maybe an opera key. But the walls are full of side doors, deliveries, contractors, and staff coming and going. The border is blurry, the world is dynamic, the drawbridge is always down. Moats work only if you can control every possible entrance, mechanical and digital, every single day. But in today's world, the real risk comes from not those trying to storm the walls, but from those already inside. It's fascinating. Consider how we protect our data versus how we protect the building. In IT, no one logs in without MFA anymore. Every click is logged. Every exception sets off alarm. Now walk to the facilities desk. A spreadsheet of keys, a wall of badges, a drawer with metal keys, perhaps with some sticky notes, do not use, but also do not throw away. Our team moved to Zero Trust years ago. Physical access still runs on memory and goodwill. You defend data with vigilance and doors with faith. That gap is the risk. If that's the gap, what exactly is Zero Trust for doors and keys? The camera helps, but Zero Trust is not the camera. Zero Trust is how we work. Never assume, grant the least needed, and keep checking when things change. Who? We prove who you are at the door. Right person, trusted device, right role. Where? Access fits the purpose and the place. This person, this reason, these rooms, nothing more. When time and context matter, access starts when it should and ends when it should. It adapts when facts change. And we have proof. Every decision leaves a trail we can trust, keys and cards alike. If any answer changes, access changes with it. Now, 2 old beliefs that get in the way. The myth number 1, the perimeter protects us. Once inside, you're trusted. That was the old chapter. Myth number 2, buy a gadget, buy the latest tool, and the job is done. Here's the new chapter. We do not hope access is right, we prove it. Trust is specific to purpose, place, and time. When the facts change, access changes with it. It refreshes or it ends, whether that's a key, a card, or a code. Let me show you what that looks like in a corridor. Maria arrives to fix the MRI. The building writes a small permission story for him. Entrance, elevator to level 4, corridor, MRI suite. Window, 2 to 4 p.m. Pharmacy stays dark. Records stays dark. She finishes early, and the lights go out along her route. She touches the door outside the map, it stays shut, and the security team is pinned. That's not suspicion, it's choreography. Trust shaped to the work, proven in real time. That level of precision sounds hard to run by hand. Here's how it runs itself. Night shift. The map. Night shift. The map glows. 3 a.m. At 3 a.m., a junior researcher badge touches the research lab. The system remembers the person works days. It pauses the door and asks for further proof. At the same time, it whispers to security, hey, something's up. They find the mix-up fast. A colleague grabbed the wrong badge at the gym. It wasn't a breach, but that's the point. The system learns what normal feels like, notices the odd heartbeat, and acts in the moment. Quiet, adaptive, always on. Now that we can spot the odd heartbeat, we can make routes and permissions adjust in real time too. It's Monday morning, really busy. A delivery turns up early and the dock is blocked. System redraws a new route, opens only the doors on that path, and gives the driver a 30-minute window. Everything else stays dark. At the same time, it watches the movements like a traffic model. Someone strings together rooms that he never crossed in that order before. The route tightens at the next door and asks for proof before that door wakes up for him. That's not a static permit. It is access that adapts to the day and then rolls back the moment the need is passed. If routes can flex this fast, how do we keep permissions accurate without spreadsheets? Precision only works if it stays current. Think subscription. While your status is active, you're in. When it lapses, you're out. Buildings can work the same way. Training expires, a contract ends, HR marks someone inactive, device health fails. And the reader answers access expired before you even touch the handle. No spreadsheet, no keys forgotten in a drawer. Every credential, metal or digital, proof itself at the moment it's used, down to the minute. Does this slow people down? In practice, it feels like a green light to those people who belong. The hospital network moved to zero trust. Unauthorized attempts fell by about 65%. Audits collapsed from a scramble to a single click. Most important, staff said they felt safer because the system decided who could reach sensitive areas. That is the promise. Simpler journey for the right people, and smart breaks only where they matter. We asked if this works outside of slideware, and it does. A Fortune 500 pharma deployed a zero trust model across 5 different labs. Within a year, access violations dropped by 94%. Unauthorized contractors' entries fell to 0. Batch-related incidents were eliminated, and audit readiness improved by 38%. That's what proof looks like. No promises, measure change you can actually point to. So the question becomes, how do you do this in a real world of legacy doors, mixed systems, and constant change? We kept hearing the same needs. Unite Mechanical, We kept hearing the same needs. Unite mechanical keys and digital badges under one living policy. Access adapts in real time, not at the next audit. Move from logs to enforcement. Portier X is our answer. No written replace, just a heartbeat that keeps every door in rhythm with the truth about people and purpose. It sits above what you have and keeps trust right-sized as work shifts through the day. That's evolution, not a gadget. Smarter, unified, continuous control for every key, batch, space. What does that feel like when you stand at the door? Imagine an intelligence layer that is invisible yet always on. It knows the context. It remembers exceptions, it senses change and adjusts before the risk spreads. Turn an old brass key, swipe a card, tap a phone, log in from the cloud. The same policy decides in the same moment and leaves a proof trail behind. That's access that thinks, and control you can prove. Portier X launches in 26. Our goal is simple. You don't have to hope that you're building is safe. You know, and you can show it. All right. 3 truths, and then we land the plane. First, AI-driven access mapping is here, and it works. The system learns the rhythm of your building and checks every credential and every exception in real time. So the quiet risks do not slip past. Second, zero trust doesn't slow people down. With right-sized access, smart automations and audits write themselves. The right people move faster, the wrong people stop early. Third, it's not just about smart cards or shiny new doors. The same living policy can cover legacy keys, badges, mobile credentials, even cloud logins, and make them act as one. The safest building is not the one with the most locks. It's the one where trust is earned and proven, door by door. If you start Monday with 3 moves, start here. Expire access by default. Map high-risk routes, and bring keys and badges into a single policy. Let me leave you with a picture of what that looks like. So, imagine tomorrow just for a moment. Monday morning, an engineer gets a message. You need it in the new R&D lab. She does not hunt a key or wait for permissions to change. Her phone updates as she walks. She gets a route, not just the door. Each checkpoint works for her, then goes back to sleep. In the background, the system checks, watches not only who enters, but the sequence, and if it makes sense. A contractor tries to follow, no badge, no entry. An old code pings to RIA, expired before the handle is touched. Friday afternoon, the compliance officer has to run the weekly report. No missing badges, no forgotten keys, exceptions explained, policies enforced, the proof's already there. Staff feels safe, security sleeps peacefully at night, the business is confident, not because it hopes, but because it knows. At Portier, that's access that thinks and control you can prove. Zero trust for physical access, no more and no less. What does your tomorrow look like when you truly know who's in and who's out and why? Thank you. Probably have some time for questions, otherwise it's early afternoon, so. Let's wait for the microphone.
Thanks. Just wondering, it looks like you have resolved there's not going to be any workflow or process in there. Anyone can be called in or anyone can do things whenever they feel like, but the system that's sitting in the background is watching and assuming or sort of doing the analysis that it's the right thing being done. Is that right, or am I just assuming something?
Yes, that's very much right. So it comes down to algorithms that run in the background and obviously get trained by usage patterns. If you look at the IT world, it's already there. It's very common in that world to look at how does a person get onto the server? Have they jumped through the different hoops? Is the VPN right? Are they logging in at night or during the day? Is that usual? So the same can apply to the physical world.
So there is let me put it in a different way. So there is and some analysis done that provides you a workflow or a process that can help you to identify an off-processed action.
Yes,
Is that right?
that's 100% correct. Yeah, that's the goal, and it's not just Portier that's doing it. So
Yeah.
plenty of providers going down that path, and I think that's where we need to go as an industry to really secure buildings and facilities.
Because I'm doing a presentation tomorrow,
Okay.
and it's about the process.
All right, I'll be sure.
How
I'll-
important the process is. Thank you.
Thank you.